This week's going to be a little bit quieter with a standard patch week, but it is a rather lengthy list of changes and improvements. Before we get into that, however, a couple of quick announcements. If you are interested, the marketplace now has a new DJINN themed outfit fresh out of The bundle sells for 470 rune coins on free-to-play or 423 for members, and includes a ceremonial DJINN headpiece, robe top, robe bottom, gloves, and boots. Next up, very important announcement, January 30th, there is a scheduled maintenance for both RuneScape and Old School. So all of the game worlds on Tuesday, January 30th at 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock UTC, or 1 to 4 PST, or 19 to 22 AEST, the game worlds will be temporarily unavailable for the 3-hour duration. Once again, that's January 30th. All worlds, both RuneScape and Old School, will be down for maintenance. Last announcement, Prime Gaming Drop is handing out 3 Umbral chests for the month of February, so starting February 6th, head over to the Prime Gaming webpage and collect your Umbral chests. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Now we're going to finally take a look at those patch notes and see what they've done with today's update. Starting off with the community hit list, storing noted items in the herb bag will no longer exceed the herb limit of the bag. Reduce the font size of long quest names that overlap the wiki quick guide button in the top right corner of the quest interface. Added quick guide option text to this wiki button to make it clear what it does. Next, for Christmas, they removed a superfluous full stop in the Collington's Ember's name and removed the Christmas area from Birthward. Looking at some graphical and animation changes, fixed an issue where some bones were floating in the air within the Edgeville dungeon, making them inaccessible. Fixed an issue with a misplaced top half of machinery in the Polnovich Slayer dungeon. Fixed incorrect examine text in the graphically updated Edgeville dungeon. The hedge near the small house in the Legends Guild has been moved to prevent clipping through the wall. The retro gathered shirt no longer stretches when dual-wielding crossbows. The Equius Archer arm guards no longer stretch when using a specific combination of cosmetics. Stretching does not occur when using both the Tithe Collector's gloves and Infernal Cerberus Falds overrides. The Colosseum Jacket's belt is not stretching when using the home teleport. Fixed a stretching issue with the Krill Godcrusher's leg armor that sometimes occurred when bouncing on a Serenity post. Some issues with woodcutting animations have been fixed. The ticket vendor no longer stands inside a rock in Remington. Removed force walk tiles at the farm near Falador. Small visual adjustments have been made towards Hero Pass longbows. The polycolors of the Archglacior weapons have been updated to more closely match. Fixed a clipping issue with the Matryoshka Rest override. Two-handed weapons are now aligned with both hands while the Radiant Crusader outfit is applied. Fixed an issue with the Cape of Legends clipping through the male character's model. The drinking horn no longer changes to beer stein when walking with it. A small graphical issue with the Dragonkin chat heads has been fixed. Fixed some issue with Rowena's chat head. Fixed an issue with the Ilujonkin Traveler's wand override where it would not move along with the player while sheathed. Fixed an issue with the dismiss animation for the Lovebug and Lovebird pets. The banana overrides can no longer be sheathed. The Abyssal Orb is now correctly held within the player's hand. Fixed an issue that would occur with the Angry Walk override when certain base clothing items were used. And fixed the brightness of the main hand weapon when dyed with the Aurora dye. Next up, some game jam changes. Several decimal separators have been added across the game. Several typos and other minor text issues have been fixed across the game. Whenever the effect of the Dark Facet of Luck doubles a clue casket, players will now also receive a chat message in case they missed the object box due to being too fast. The Portable Fairy Ring and Spirit Tree Rerouter are no longer erroneously referred to as the Spirit Ring Teleporter and Spirit Tree Teleporter. Messages about the Grand Seed Pod have become info boxes to be less intrusive. The examine option for the Waterfall Fishing Teleport has been changed slightly, and one of the easy clues has been changed to acknowledge the existence of 2 squires in the White Knight's castle rather than 1. Last bit of changes are some general fixes. We've added support for using movement abilities such as Surge and Dive within the Ancient Awakening instances. These abilities were already supported within the combat arena and are still there. If you have PvP enabled and enter the wilderness, the warning pop-up now tells you that you can speak to Vala in Edgeville to opt out. The clock has been moved closer to the battery icon on mobile. Smithing interface upgrades now have yellow highlights on their box. Currency handling has been changed to allow all oddments and reward shop currencies to cap out without going negative. Furthermore, a remainder will be placed in the player's inventory if the player is capped out in that currency. The tier for the Robin Hood tunic is now correctly displayed in its tooltip. Updated Ellen Anturth's cape store within the Max Guild so that the Necromancy capes capes appear after the DJINN mining capes. The POH enchant tablets now work with certain gemstones. Updated the destroy message for the penance master horns. It will now point you to Commander Conad at Barbarian Assault to reclaim. Players are no longer able to obtain divination fragments when they already own the Elder Divination outfit set. The typo has been fixed for Sirenic Chaps and Elite Sirenic Chaps. Fixed a pathing issue with the Ogre Spit Roast at the Feldip Hills. The Scroll of Cleansing will now correctly inform the player about the material that was saved when crafting rune crafting potions. Fixed an issue with Dressel's name appearing incorrectly during the Priest in Peril quest. When burning corrupt magic logs on a portable brazier, the accompanying chat message will no longer mention Protean logs. The building status of the chapel in Fort Ferenthy will no longer show a tier higher than 3. The Shadow Worlds Equip Me checkbox now stays unchecked as long as any preset other than current is selected. Fix the Drygor Longswords, Soul and Aurora, and the Flaming Sword enchantment to be connected and lined up with one another. The icon for the perfect build when building the Lodestone and Side Gate in the Fort Ferenthy has been removed, as there's no perfect build option for them. Players can now interact with their miniature evil tree after relogging. Fixed an issue with Power Burst potions having an elongated cooldown for some players affected by the login lockouts. Fixed an issue that allowed the Economy Building for Dummies book to be equipped in a player's main hand slot via the bank. Fixed an issue that blocked the option to rotate the camera within the Livid Farm area using keybinds. The Treasure Rest animation should no longer display incorrectly in the customization interface. The Scrimshaw's buff to no longer contain incorrect information. Corrected a typo related to the archaeology skill inside the Nodin Hibernatorium. Textual references to Mandrith being in Edgeville have been correct. The tooltip info about an empty familiar ability slot has been updated. An issue where duplicate locations would show when exiting via Death's Hourglass has been fixed. Removed the extra offhand option, the dagger, for Chaos Witch Channeler, which just leaves the skull. Blue Dragon scales can now be banked by a Sign of Porter. A typo in the examine of Raksha Idol has been fixed. Added a tooltip that states when a player doesn't have enough room in their backpack while hovering over the claim button for the Treasure Hunter's Choose Your Prize window. A typo in Praetor's log page 3 has been fixed. Fixed a typo within the weekly progress reward screen in the challenges UI. The buff bar now updates when a prayer or curse has been disabled by a creature. The examine option in Diango's item retrieval service now correctly displays the examine text of items. Updated the prize information for Protean Memory and Protean Plank when won on Treasure Hunter to more resemble their actual functionality. The player now is able to use WASD keys to move the camera while transmogrified into Moya. The name of the tiny Protean pack is now consistent in places where it's mentioned. Fixed an issue that prevented the giant Chinchampa familiar from dealing damage to a target when the Explode scroll was used. The We've Come a Long Way achievement is now correctly locked by a level 90 necromancy requirement. Fixed an issue with the quest journal not always linking to the correct quest when clicking on quest prerequisites. Turkey Book and Magical Bunny notepaper, which load their holiday event information into the quest journal, now hide their inoperable wiki, overview, and history buttons. The option to change Hero Pass missions is no longer available when interacting with Viswax. Corrupted Snipe and Corrupted Sonic Wave can now be rotated in the animation preview window. Sprout, the pet of seasons, is now correctly named in the chat box message when unlocking the pet. Fixed typos and inconsistencies in music track unlock hints. Updated some inconsistent spelling of artifact within the Ancient Awakening quest. The botanist's workbench labeling is now consistent across all tabs. If a player is doing the tutorial and buys a key package with Death Touch darts, they will no longer be told to move to a safe area to claim it. They will be asked to complete the tutorial first. And lastly, removed an extra option from the mobile destroy prompt message. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video down in the description below. If you missed last week's video, it'll be on screen now. Check them out and see you there. And if not, I'll see you in the next RuneScape coverage video. And with that, I am out. Aloha.